gotta do, gotta be what God wants me to be. Nothing else matters except for His will and His way. I made up my mind, I will follow Him always to my destiny. Good morning and welcome to Woman with Tammie Tubbs. You know, life can be filled with devastation, upside down, twisted things happen in your life, but it's what you do that propels you to where you are right now. I have such a phenomenal woman with me. I tell you, she's a brave woman to even come on set on this morning and share with you her true testimony. But the glory of it all is when you see her, you'll know that God has actually had a hand in her life all along. Oftentimes we look at the situation of what we're in and what we're going through, and we just want to cry out and say, God, why have you forsaken me? But I'm here to tell you on this morning, God will never leave you nor forsake you. He has you in the palm of His hand. All you have to do on this morning is just simply tell Him all about it. Yeah. There's a hymn that my grandmother used to sing a long, long time ago. It simply says, all you have to do is tell God all your problems, tell Him all about it, and He'll make everything all right. And on this morning, I have a beautiful woman of God. I was just enlightened. Of course, I gained so much wisdom from her, and I couldn't keep it to myself. I wanted this particular lady to come here with me so she could testify, encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to look beyond your circumstances and know that God is going to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all you could ever ask or think. All you have to do is stick with the plan. You're going to have to go through, but I tell you what, in the end, there's a testimony. God will get the glory in your life. Without further ado, I would love for you to join me as I welcome my special guest. And she has such a beautiful name, Miss Rosezilla Ellen. Welcome and God bless you. How are you this morning?
Thank you. I'm fine.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love you. You're just glowing, I tell you. You're surrounded by roses because I wanted to remind you on today to let you know that you are a rose in God's garden. He has planted you for a season as now to flourish and to blossom, to tell women that they can make it. I know it may seem hard, but they can make it.
They can make it.
And I love this book that she has. It's called A Crushed Rose. When you look at the beautiful roses here, they're blossoming. And a lot of times when you buy roses, they're in a bud. But if you add water and you nurture it, it blossoms. And that's exactly what you have done. But in this particular book, you tell of the story of incest, shame, and the struggle you actually had to go through. So I just want you to walk us through the actual journey so my viewers out there that they can know exactly what you went through and look back into, I call it memory lane. Some of them have actually endured what you have endured. They've just not taken the step that you have to walk in faith and speak about it. So you know what? Let's start right now. Thank you, Jesus. When I read your book, I actually read it last night, stayed up all night reading it, fell asleep, truthfully, with my contacts in. That's why I have my gorgeous glasses on, because I never really wear my glasses. However, there was one word that you just kept repeating, and I kept hearing you say, twisted daddy. Why did you consider your dad to be twisted?
Well, my daddy had mental issues, and then he took it over. He took it to another step. He decided one day to start touching me and fondling me around the age of 7, 8 years old. And he wouldn't stop. And no matter how I would beg him not to do this thing, he still did it. He did it through violence.
Yes, ma'am.
He did it in the darkness. Mostly he'd sit in the dark and he would do his dirt. Can't nobody be normal doing that, so I gave him a name, Twisted Minded Daddy.
And when you read the book, and you have to get this book. We're going to tell you later in the show how you can get a copy of this book. You said the man who terrorized my life.
Yes.
When you think of terror, it's like devastation. You're just trembling. You don't know what to do.
Yes.
How was your life growing up as a child in your mother and father's home? Because your parents were actually married. So how was your life as a child?
Well, when I was much younger, my life was great because my grandmother was there. But then after I got about 7 and he started the funneling, and in the dark and making me take off all my clothes, it became hell. My life was hell then. I didn't know, and I was a child, I didn't understand. Why is this happening to me?
Yes, ma'am.
So one day I just decided, hey, something got to be done. So as I grew up in that kind of environment, as I was growing up in that kind of environment, I got lost some kind of way.
Yes,
I got lost in the shuffle. I didn't know, why would a person like that do this to me?
And as a child, you're not going to understand. I'm sure you would believe that your father would be one of the people that would love you, that would protect you.
Right.
After all, he was your parent.
That's right.
And I'm sure that you believe, because I believe I read that, you were fearful of him. So whatever he said, you did what he said.
I did what he said.
You didn't want any abuse or anything. And you actually thought if you did what he said, then the sexual abuse would end.
It wouldn't take place, but that's not the case. Wow. And that's another reason I call him twisted-minded, because he would always be violent with it. He would bust my lip. He would take my clothes off, and it just got awful, so I just started naming him. It came to me, and I just started naming him.
I actually remember reading in the story where you would get beat with the belt, with whips.
That's right.
And there was something in regards to, then there was bleeding. And it's the book is so vivid that it takes you there as if you can truly see and experience what you're experiencing. And even as I'm talking to you, I'm getting emotional, because children are supposed to be loved and protected. Children are a gift from God. So
yes.
I can't imagine how you felt, but I'm so grateful to God that he kept you for such a time as this, to be able to tell your story and let people know that this is not something that we should tolerate as a society.
That's right.
We need to speak up against it.
Yes.
And even as women in our homes, we need to pay more close attention to our little girls. Not only to little girls, little boys.
Yes.
You know, because nowadays the little boys are being molested as well. So we have to take heed of what's going around us in our homes. Don't be naive. Now,
yes.
Did you think that your mom knew what was going on at all?
Well, I didn't know at first, because I was raised up with this .45 automatic. If I tell anybody, he would kill me. So I didn't know at first, but as I got older and called her and told her, she say she knew. She say she knew, but she didn't believe.
He actually told her.
He told her.
That's, according to the book, your father actually told your mother that he was going to do these things to you.
To me, yes.
And the way that it's written, as if your mom was actually, mental as well.
Yes. Yes.
She worked, I think it's Mississippi State Hospital
yes.
in Jackson, Mississippi, and all of the abuse took place in the Jackson, Mississippi area.
Yes.
And she would be gone 20 days and only 10 days at home.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important, women, for us to make sure that we're in the home with our children. There's certain things that we need to put off and put on hold. Oh my goodness. Now, the first rape, when that happened, did you cry out for help? Did you go to anyone?
Well, the first time that when he took me to the motel, I was 13 years old, and I was sitting in the car waiting on him to come back. I started to get in the trunk of the car, but I was afraid. So I waited, and then when he took me inside, he told me to sit in this chair at this table, and they ordered a drink. And they brought the drink over to the table, and then he told me to get up and go in the room. That's when it started. He bust me in the face and threw me across the bed and stripped my clothes off. That's when I first started feeling that I didn't know who I was and what I was doing, or what he was doing. I didn't know why I was there and what made him bring me there. Again, he was twisted to me.
You were being invaded, so you did know. And I remember inside of your book as well, where you talk about you didn't know who you were. You felt nasty. Just yucky.
I did.
And even the first time that you saw your own blood, and I love how the word says this, you were in your own polluted blood.
Blood, yes.
Your own polluted blood.
Yes. He, when he went inside me, then I was a virgin, see. And so the blood came, and it scared me. And then I ran into the bathroom, and that's when he came and knocked the door down. And he bought me my first douching bag. And
So even as, you know...
And so I didn't get a chance to even be a woman.
Especially, I mean, I'm sure it was a bad, horrible experience.
Yes.
But as far as having a mother, you expect your mother to sit down and tell you, about those personal things that you need to buy to take care of yourself and those kind of things. Oh, wow. Now, you reached out after that experience to one of your teachers at school, did you not?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And what happened, it was a mechanical drawing teacher, and I was not getting my lesson very well. I was not drawing. And the teacher asked me what was wrong, and I was kind of like hesitant to talk. And he said, well, you go get in the closet, and I'll be in there to talk to you when the class is over. So when the class was over, the kids left, and he came in the closet with me. And as I was telling him what was going on at my house, he became aroused. And then he grabbed me and started to kiss me, and that's when I ran down the hall. I didn't go to anyone because I was afraid of everyone.
Of course. You couldn't trust anybody.
I didn't trust no one.
The safest place should be, at home. Mother is not there. Father is abusing me. So they do tell you go to a teacher, a counselor, or someone. You reach out to the teacher, and here he is. He's doing the same identical thing that your father actually is doing.
Yes.
So at this point in your life, you can't trust anyone. So you're keeping everything
inside. Yes.
You're just horrific. Like, what in the world is going on? Why am I going through this?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I know that you all are being touched by this. It's truly a story that needs to be told. If you research, Google, and look at children being molested right in the company of their own homes, uncles, aunts, sisters, brothers, cousins, fathers. It's time for us to take a stand and do something about it. We'll be right back. Please enjoy this commercial break, and I hope and I pray that you're really taking inventory of what's going around in your own life. I love you. We'll see you soon.